it up. No, I ain't hustling. Cause I live my life because don't wanna roll it out. Sliding in the lamb with the power light. Slime green, plain peanut butter inside. She wanna speak up, coming out of clothes. I'm in Wonderland when she coming down the pole. And I don't care if she take all the mine. Like it is, red dollar sign.
Sauce on my feet, pass around the free rolls. Rollie on my chain, play with the seeds. Kush residue on my jeans. I blow hella dope and I'm classic. Reeboks wetter than snow. You be dressing, walking around with you stepping. Unintentional flexing, trying to send out a message. Money walk with the extra, shake that air with your bestie. Seeing stars in the rental, got your bra in the rental. 20K and AOD and Jamil, I get up. Trying to send a girl to college, I ain't coughing no fish up. Say her birthday late tonight, yeah, that means she a Leo. Might just leave with me tonight, but that don't mean she a freak. With guesses and models, shout out them girls who be dollars. Shawty came from the bottom, yeah, shout out Keisha Bottoms. Couple cases of rose came out to me with the sparkles. I pour up for all the girls, but I'ma drink out the bottle.
See it's fun, cook it up. No, I ain't hustling. Cause I live my life because don't wanna roll it out. Sliding in the lamb with the power light. Slime green, plain peanut butter inside. She wanna speak up, coming down the clothes. I'm in Wonderland when she coming down the pole. And I don't care if she take all the money. Like it ain't but a dollar sign.
$1 million, but I get it for the free. She like to do a lot of so I told them to come and skate. Shout it bad, she can get it. She can swallow, she can spit it. Bring a friend if she with it. On the pole, y'all can split it. In the pit, on the line, suck it. On the ground, P12 help me get up out the jam. The jam full of slam, R.I.P. Lil' Peep, I gotta slow down on them jams. Just out of my knowledge, backseat of my Benz. Put that shit on camera, she squirted on the lens. Then she told me to put it on a chinny chick. Market full of nothing but the Mickey break legs. In the game, posted up, put numbers up. Run me the check first, I don't wanna. They say it's cuffing season, baby, you ain't good enough. She wanna real big dog, you ain't good enough.
It's fun, cook it up. No, I ain't hustling. Cause I live my life because don't wanna roll it out. Sliding in the lamb with the power light. Slime green, plain peanut butter inside. She wanna speak up, coming down the clothes. I'm in Wonderland when she coming down the pole. And I don't care if she take all the mine. Like it ain't but a dollar sign. Hey, 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 This is the blues I play. Yes, it's a final thing. When the night is cold and low,
Take yourself outside your body and then look at yourself and see how you playing yourself.
This is the blues I'm playing.
Congratulations. It's the month and Chase.
Yes, it's a final
Feel me?
day. When the
We
night
on
is
it.
cold.
Pay the plug. Try to be real, so niggas put on more money and show some love. You did me a favor, I knew you was shiny, I knew you would show you was. It's only a matter of time for niggas get lined in with them slugs. You found in the pool of your blood. Yeah. Remember they told me that we'd fail. Remember they said it was CSL. God was that to me like Cam Newton. I'm in the field like the NFL. This is sick and I wish you well. I made it wish you to wish you well. I put a brick in and wish you well. Been through some shit that I'm sick of jail. Nothing serious but I'm sick of cells. Sick of top shit in niggas' mouth. Call it just to get it bail. I just said it and get it out. Never coming home, minute on the phone. Sick of top shit niggas fail. Sick of top shit niggas lose. Sitting like we can't get the hell.
The good life, let's go on a living spree. And she say the best things in Might snatch your necklace, the next these might jack your Lexus. Somebody tell me who Kanye West is. I walk through the valley of the shadow where death is. Lord, if you alone, I leave you breathless. Try to catch it, it's kinda hard. Choked by the technology and a pick of method. Asking us questions, harassing the wrestlers. Saying we eat pieces of food like you for breakfast, huh? Y'all eat pieces. What's the basis? We ain't going nowhere but got suits and cases. Trunk full of coke, rental car from Avis. My mama used to say only Jesus can save us. Well, mama, I know I act the fool, but I'll be gone to November. I got packs to move. God show me a way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now. And I don't think there's nothing I can do now to right my wrongs. I wanna talk to God, but I'm afraid cause he's looking so long. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now. And I don't think there's nothing In the club, rockin' with my black blood, rockin' on them jiggers, on the money. You ain't talking money, I don't get it, I don't get it. You ain't gotta touch my own. That's good, that's good. More about my stuff, all my monkeys, we gorillas, all my country, we some hills. Birds on my timeline, call it tug. I'm in the club, rockin' with my all love, rockin' all them chicks. Money, you ain't talking money, I don't need what you call it. You ain't gotta touch my own feet. That's good, that's good. More about my stuff, all my countries, we gorillas, all my country, we from hills, birds on my timeline, call it tug. That's good, that's good. More about my stuff, I'm coming through, me and all my boys smoking loud. I ain't hearing you, Kodak bring the noise. Every year, Christmas Day, I ain't wanna play with toys. Project baby came out the woods and riding in a Ford. And my dad was King's back. I don't even know how much I really made. I forgot, it's a lot up there, never mind what I got. Don't watch that cause I came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real. Came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real.
Money should be the same. Shades on, pink ring. Don't need boys, I need quarantine in the same league. One ball the same. She want all the fame. I hear this shit all the time. Since you love me, I said, baby girl, fall in line. Okay, made $1 million off of dinner for watch me switch it up. Walked in, alert, you need that work, I got that work. Got this bitch in my condo. Just bought a shirt, they come from Mercedes Benz car. I know from the A to Toronto, we let the metal go off. And make the metal trainer go off. This that sauce, this that dressing. T-for-G, God bless you. If having a bad it wasn't crime, I'd be arrested.
Got everything, I got everything. I cannot complain, I don't even know how much I really made. I forgot, it's a lot up there, never mind what I got. Don't watch that, cause I came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real. Came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real. I touched down in 86. Knew I was a man by the 86. I ain't a girl that used to babysit, but that was years later on some crazy shit. I heard you knew it. I get paid it in. David Wayans told me don't play this shit. I get paid a lot, you get paid a bit. And my latest shit's like a greatest hits. Ain't no wishing over on the inside, no. What else can we but y'all is no different over on this side. Should I listen to everybody on myself? Cause myself just told myself, you the motherfucker, man, you don't need no help. Cashing checks, and I'm bigging up my chest. Y'all keep talking about who next, but I'm about as big as it gets. I swear y'all just wasting y'all breath. I'm the light skin, keep sweating. I'ma make it last forever. It's not your time, cause I ain't done yet. Look, just understand that I'm on a roll like Cottonelle. I was made for all of it. Man, I'm on a roll, my trophy sales, I'm getting paid for all of it. Ask you to please excuse my table manners. I was making room for the table dancers. Cause if we judging on your advance, and I just got paid like 8 events.
All my people right there in the back of the spot, I need the top. If you know me, you don't know me to stop, I need the top. All my people there in the back of the spot, let them shot. Yeah.
And you don't just wake up rich one day. It's kind of life, never just live your way. I gave up taking care of 3 trips to the bay. Cali bound, cause I got a flip in LA. Paris bound, cause the new videos on the way. No breaks for me, no vacations for me. Out of France, say live it before I live it. Why start shit, don't finish.
I want the top. All the people right there in the back of the spot, I need the top. If you know me, you don't know me to stop, I need the top. All my people there in the back of the spot, let them be shot. Yeah.
Drinks on chill, got drinks on chill. Lights get dim and I think I will. I work so hard that I think I will. Got a long week, bitch, I think I feel. History favors the bold. Roll something, make sure my story gets told. Make sure our story gets told. The night's forever young.
Probably a lover than a father.
It's a new season, and we still breathing.
I've been on ya. Let's get lost tonight. You can be my black cake mouse tonight. Play secretary on the ball tonight. You know what? When they all say right, I'm for the kick for the Chris in New York. Damn, they hurt like this anymore. I'm not sure. Anybody don't feel like anymore? Bad on the place. Right now, bad number one. You should be honored by my lateness. But I would even show up to this place. So go ahead, go nuts, go crazy. Especially in my pastel on my face. Act like you can't tell who made this. You guys go home and take six. And take this. Hey, yeah. Stronger. I need you to hurry up, man. 'Cause I can't go much longer. I know I can't tell you right now. 'Cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been on all night, man. That's how long I've been on ya. We like it. I don't know if you got a man or not. If you made friends or not. If God put me in your plans or not. I'm tripping this drink, got me saying a lot. But I know that God put you in front of me. So how the hell should you front of me? It's 1,000 views, it's only one of me. I'm tripping, I'm caught up in the moment, right? Cause you Louis Vuitton dynamite. So we gon' do everything in kind like. Heard they do anything for a Klondike. Well, I do anything for a blind. And she'll do anything for the limelight. And we'll do anything with
The NCAA and the University of Tampa would like to welcome you to the Nemoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex for the 2019 NCAA Men's Lacrosse Division II Tournament first round. Tonight we have the number 4 seeded Tampa Spartans versus the number 5 Wingate Bulldogs. At this time, we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now, here are tonight.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T, and we know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
More great camera features and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment. And more spokespeople.
Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T unlimited plans, get HBO for life. Only
Good evening from the Nemoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus. This evening, Tampa taking on Wingate in NCAA men's lacrosse first round action. I'm Bruce Wozniak along with Connor Moore here to call the action for you between number 4 UT and number 5 Wingate, and a battle between the SSC champions, the Spartans, and the SAC champions being Wingate.
4-5 matchup here in the South region. Ross Dickerson wins the first faceoff, and he comes in hot, and the first shot is off target.
UT, you see, wearing their white uniforms with red helmets. Wingate, navy blue for all intents and purposes from head to toe. Spartans going to work here on offense first, going left to right here in this first quarter, and working against goaltender Alex Cordero, freshman from right here in the Tampa Bay area, getting the start. And at the other end of the field for UT, the starting goaltender is Brian Karn. So a senior for the Spartans going against a freshman here at the other end of the field, as UT working it around the perimeter, looking to get started. Matt Vetter's pass misses. He's able to pick it back up himself and over to Andrew Q.
Only the third meeting between the two teams. Spartans victorious in both.
Q looking for some room and ends up behind the net. Over now for Kilkowski. And Harry Kilkowski wants to go one-on-one. Some strong defense there by Sean Moran. And now Vetter's shot and stopped by Cordero. The rebound, UT controls. Brian Wright scores!
With the putback, the Spartans on the board first. 1 minute, 8 seconds into the game. And the Spartans aggressive with the punch. Break the scoreboard.
Brian Wright, a great shot. And the benefit of controlling the rebound. And Jake Moshe McGraw gets the lone assist. So UT on the board early here on a beautiful Wednesday night here in West Central Florida. Game time temperature of 84 degrees.
Spartans hungry out of the gate, survive and advance mentality. Winner gets the winner of Limestone and Lynn as another faceoff won by the Spartans.
And Dickerson had it knocked out of his stick and he went down. And now they battle for it in the corner. Another Spartan goes to the ground and possession awarded to UT.
Officials for tonight's ball game: Jody Ticer, Chris Vahey, and Ed Feaster, veteran officiating crew.
Spartans going right back to work here after taking the early lead. 1 minute, 8 seconds into this game as Matt Vetter has it and starts his move. Gets past the defender, has some room, a pass in front, and Kilkowski missed it. Brian Wright will chase that down and he is able to get to it before it rolls out, using his speed to his advantage there. And Kilkowski now makes his move towards the net, and another nice save there as Cordero getting the blood flowing early here. A couple early stops.
Yeah, Spartans having no problem penetrating the middle. It's just been a matter of making the passes. The looks have been there.
Back in behind the Bulldogs net. That's Colin White. His pass over to Brian Wright.
It's going to be a fun matchup between Wyatt Wiseman and Ross Dickerson, both face-off specialists. Dickerson won the first two.
Wright turns the corner has his back to the net and no open teammate, so he has to pull it back out to the restraining line. And now over to Vetter. Lobs it inside for Kilkowski. Kilkowski wanting to go one-on-one there. Pass in front for Colin White, mishandled, and the Bulldogs, it's turned over. Back they come. And so Wingate's going to get their first offensive opportunity of the game. It took them 3 minutes to get such, but with some personnel changes, they're getting set up for just that, as Alex Lorandi has it and sends it back for Joe Cooper.
The Bulldogs are led by Bobby Padden, has 54 points, joined by Alex Lorendi with 50, and we see a flag from Vahey, so this will be against the Spartans, so man advantage coming forward for Wingate.
Play carries on as the Bulldogs. This is Cooper with it. Cooper steps right on the line, being watched there by Gavin Perry. They work it over to the other side of the field. On the far side now, that's Bobby Padden. Padden stops on the line as well, being watched by Vetter. Trying to get around Matt Vetter now. A pass inside misses, and that one goes out of play. So we'll get a penalty called now against UT.
Bruce, we talk all the time about the job Rory Whipple has done with the Spartans. How about Tim Boyle for the Bulldogs in the South Atlantic Conference? Won 7 of 8 games, only losing to Catawba. This is a team that plays with a lot of confidence. Should be a dandy between two top-tier teams.
And coming into the unfriendly confines of the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex, where UT has been very successful in 2019, an 8-3 one-loss record here at home. And in the meantime, the Spartans having to kill off an early penalty here, called against Brian Wright, a 30-second penalty. And the Bulldogs working up top. There's a pass down low, and a bounce shot was taken and deflected. It didn't get through. Dominic Piazza took the shot, and it went off the leg of Dylan Carter.
Spartans back at full strength.
And now a pass over. Wingate working here in behind the UT net. And they send it right back up top. That's Cooper. Now his pass over. And stepping across the line, Alex Lorandi wanted to shoot, and there's one pulled down. And a nice job by Jack Tyrell as the Spartans start back the other way. Tyrell across midfield. Tyrell splits the defenders and then leaves a pass behind him as Hunter Van Horn carries on. Van Horn into the corner to Andrew Q. Q up top. This is Kansai Gary. And now sends it for Luke Curran. Curran will give it back to Gary. And Gary steps across the Wingate line. And UT is going to make a change here as off goes Van Horn. And in comes this streaking Chris Cox. There's a pass. And it looked like Curran wanted to shoot. He held off. And instead now this is Kansai Gary working. Gary's pushed, sends a pass behind the net, a bounce pass in front to Kilkowski. He's taken down, and a loose ball picked up by the Bulldogs.
Exceptional interior defense by Wingate that time. The Spartans threaded the needle, but 3 defenders colliding that time on Kilkowski.
Yeah, nice defensive stand for sure for the visitors as they go back to work here on offense. Trailing 1-0. The only goal of the game came 68 seconds in, and that was off the stick of Brian Wright for UT. Now a pass into the corner.
Both teams just getting a feel for one another, unfamiliar with each other. This is where scouting plays a huge factor.
And Pierpont breaks in. That one in the middle is a loose ball. It's going to be chased into the corner and retrieved by Bobby Padden. And he sends it back up top. And the Bulldogs are going to reset from almost near midfield as Lorandi starts his move. Now sends a pass over. And in the middle, it's deflected. Gary Pierpont tried to hit a teammate in the middle, and UT there defensively as Karn makes the stop, and now flags fly again. And And arms being raised by frustrated coaches on the Wingate sideline as the clock stops with 7:54 left here in the first quarter. And we'll wait for the penalty to be called here.
That was a filthy hit that time. Medical staff coming out to tend to Lorendi, and he's a player. He has 39 goals on the season, 11 assists, 50 points. If Wingate wants to win this game, they're going to need him out there. So from their side, hope he's okay. He's back to his feet.
So the Spartans had already killed off one penalty.
Get the feeling this is going to be a similar atmosphere to the championship game when the Spartans defeated the Lions. Physical game, officials going to do their best to keep it tightly officiated, and here's the call.
And the official going to retrieve the flag that's still out on the field.
Nicholas Perrott with an illegal body check, 2-minute penalty, so this could be one for Wingate. Marvelous opportunity with 120 seconds with the advantage. Here we go.
And so working here now for the Bulldogs, they send it in behind goaltender Brian Karn. And now it's pushed back out on the far side and behind the net once again. They'll try the other side with Joe Cooper. Quickly they move it up top. This is Piazza. And right down behind the net again. The pass attempted out front misses. And they're going to have to chase it out to close to midfield, where it's picked up there. And now sent over on the far side in behind Karn once again. Here's Ryan Armorod on the far side now, and up top with Gronbach. There's a shot taken. Nice stop by Karn on the shot by Piazza. And Brian Karn's going to settle it down as there's still 60 seconds left in the UT penalty.
Only 1-0 right now, but Karn and Cordero doing their best to keep it that way. Some premier saves, and now the Spartans in transition.
Hunter Van Horn on the move and into the corner as Andrew Q takes a quick glance at the scoreboard to see the time remaining on the penalty. And the Spartans should be able to kill this entire penalty clock, barring a breakdown of some kind, as there's 14 seconds in their favor, meaning the difference between the shot clock and the penalty clock.
Yeah, Brian Wright just running around the field himself to milk out this clock. He's on the run with 25 to shoot. Gets a pick from Kilkowski.
And Reese Ormond was watching, and then they changed defensively, but the penalty down now to 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and the Spartans successfully kill off the 2-minute call. And even better is that they are in possession as Andrew Q starts his move. Q breaks towards the net, dives in and scores!
A thing of beauty. Andrew Q, the goal is good. Diving out front, 2-0 Spartans. And the Sunshine State Player of the Year, putting the team on his back.
Andrew Q, 57 goals, 91 points in 17 games.
And the lunging shot there. How did he make that? He had zero angle, but he found a way to pave through two defenders and one for Andrew Q.
And there's a real momentum shifter. You had Wingate that had the man advantage for 2 minutes, and the Spartans essentially were able to just kill off the second minute of those 2 minutes, and then they really capitalize by capping it off with that Q goal to take a 2-0 lead as we're down to 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Ross Dickerson, the specialist, winning another face-off, has been the name of the game. Spartans take possession but turn it over.
Now Wingate crosses midfield and they send it up ahead. Bobby Padden holding on to it, and now gives it to Connor Gronbach, and he gives it to Cooper. Joe Cooper looks back to his own sideline and sees Gary Pierpont come on the field and gives it to him, and now it's returned back over to Cooper and to Pierpont one more time. Pierpont across the UT line, and they send a pass in behind the net. Now they pop out on the far side. No shot available there for Padden, and a long attempt by Connor Gronbach. I don't know if he was trying to pass down onto the goal line or if that was an intended shot, but in any event, it results in a turnover.
The Spartans' defense has been spectacular the first 10 minutes. Get in the stance, get a stop. That's what they're doing, and now they have the ball crossing midfield.
I must say I'm impressed to see a large contingent of Wingate fans in the crowd tonight.
From just outside Charlotte, North Carolina, traveling well. Big-time game, why not? 4-5 matchup, has everything in store. And the Spartans now with 50 on the shot clock, looking to extend the lead.
As they break in to the Bulldog zone, Luke Curran sends the pass, and now it's up top. And there's Chris Cox scores!
Wow, Chris Cox from way downtown, and the Spartans jump to the early lead, and they are dominating this first period. 4:01 to go. Spartans up by 3.
Well, and Connor, you can see where the Spartans seem to have really been ignited by the second goal, the Andrew Q goal, after, as I said, they killed off the 2-minute penalty successfully and then really built on the momentum with the quick score by number 42. And lo and behold, all of a sudden it's now 3-0. And if you're Wingate, you're starting to say, uh-oh, let's not let this one slip away.
Absolutely, and it all starts with the Spartans penetrating the middle easily. They're having everything they want. They're getting the looks, and that time Chris Cox from a distance makes the shot. And how about Dickerson again as he goes down?
And it pops out of the circle. 4 of them chase it down, and it's still loose, and now the Bulldogs able to pick it up. Hold on, though, they're going to call a push against Wingate, and so possession over to UT as the clock now down to 3 minutes and 42 seconds in this first quarter. Kansai Gary with the ball for UT.
And the Spartan bench was all over Chris Vahey. There is a physical play, every player giving maximum effort, and the Spartans come up with the ball.
Now it's pushed just inside the Wingate line to Kilkowski. Colin White had a great look at it, and now they're saying a goal.
Matter of inches there, but the Spartans come away with the goal on the call that time, right on the money. Ed Feaster, the goal is good, and the Spartans jump out. 4-0 is the score.
And for UT, they'll take it any way they can get it, and Wingate's got to be thinking the ball's really, literally not bouncing our way now. And we're going to have a timeout called down the field with 3:15 to go here in the first quarter.
Amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T, and we know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
More great camera features and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment and more spokespeople.
Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T Unlimited plans, get HBO for life.
Amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T.
Yeah, first of all, very flattered that everybody would come. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions before we move on?
Do you remember the girl wearing the Go Phil shirt following you around?
Yeah.
It's me.
I
It's
do.
been me on several occasions.
I started papering my cubicle with pictures of you.
Do you have a picture of the shrine? I mean, I'd love to see it.
I've got a mental picture of it, and I do it's too. Pretty weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
I believe that I have a happy marriage because of you, because sometimes I do a little substitution, you know, just mentally.
Whoa.
But
anyway, Mike, let's...
Back live as the Spartans have taken a 4-0 lead in a game that started out with a quick score by UT and then seemed to settle down as though it was going to be a defensive battle, and all of a sudden UT has pulled away from Wingate as this timeout giving Coach Tim Boyle an opportunity to talk to his Wingate players and try to get them back into this game.
And Bruce, both huddles very telling. Everybody in the huddle except Ross Dickerson, who's just waiting in the face-off circle. He is in the zone. He's won the first 4 face-offs, looking to win the 5th. And like you said, the Spartans offensively are clicking.
And Dickerson getting ready now. Spartans with 3 goals in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And that's been the difference here in what, as I said, seemed as though it was going to perhaps be a very, very low-scoring defensive first quarter.
And Tampa has done a tremendous job spacing the field right now, getting everything they want, slowing the tempo down, mixing it up, and as a result, the Bulldog defense has been on their toes looking to get anything, try to slow them down.
UT back to work here, looking for more, as Matt Vetter has a little bit of room, takes a shot, and that one bounces out of play. Possession will remain with UT. And putting it in play back there is Harry Kilkowski. Kilkowski stops, sends a pass up top, and it's fired over on the near side to Jake Moshe McGraw. Looking for some room, has it, takes a shot, and that one goes out of play. Possession still with the Spartans, 25 on the shot clock. And putting it in will be Colin White. And what a season Colin White had.
Yeah, Colin White has stepped up, playing second fiddle to Andrew Q, and has provided offense on a consistent basis. Pick and roll, Moshe McGraw and Q working the X. Only 10 to shoot, though, looking to make something happen.
Jake Moshe McGraw puts his shoulder down, turns the corner, takes a shot, hit the goalpost. And to finish on that thought, Colin White finished third on the team in points with 59, was second in goals with 49 through 18 games. And there's one that's going to go out of play. So the Spartans really in control here, as we're down to just 1:42 in the first quarter. They lead 4-0 and still in possession here.
And the unselfishness of Q, all eyes on him. He finds Matt Vetter had a quality look from in close.
Up top, Brian Wright now shoots, and that one goes out of play. Wright had looked like he was going to shoot initially, then held off, and then pulled the trigger, and it went out of play. And now this is Colin White. He takes a shot that goes out. And Cordero tried to get there for Wingate, the official right on the spot to call it in favor of the Spartans. And this is Matt Vetter now. Vetter trying to duck under a check, has to back up, lobs a pass inside, and they score! Jake Moshe McGraw. 5-0 with 67 seconds left here in the first quarter. And Jake Moshe McGraw increases the UT lead, as he had already gotten on the score sheet earlier with an assist. And so Coach Whipple getting scores from 5 different players thus far.
And Tampa moving the ball so well. Matt Vetter with the look. Had a split second, he had the shot. Both defenders came on to him, and he made the pass. Nowhere to be found, the Bulldog defense, and the lead has blossomed to 5.
And thus far in the game, all 5 faceoffs have been won by UT. So Wingate's got a little bit of work to do in a couple different areas of the game.
Yeah, if they want to get back in this game, they need to start winning some faceoffs. But easier said than done with Ross Dickerson, who gets his team yet another possession. To have that weapon is just amazing for any coach. A specialist like Ross Dickerson, seemingly every time he goes out there, you know he's got a good chance to come away with it.
And they could actually turn off the shot clock if they want, because there's 6 seconds difference, meaning there's 6 seconds more on the shot clock than there is on the game clock. So if the Spartans want, they can take this all the way down for a last shot before the quarter expires. And they may very well do that, leading 5-0 to go into the quarter break.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Bruce. That looks exactly what the Spartans are doing here. But all of a sudden, a ground ball that's still there. So Wingate could maybe get this one. 50-50 ball, but coming away with it is the Spartans and Consag Gary.
That was Chris Cox that had lost it initially, and now it is turned over. And in fact, they also call a hold against UT. So not going to be the case after all, meaning the last shot for the home team, as the Bulldogs put it in play on the far side of the field.
And now 13 seconds for them to get on the scoreboard. Will have to operate quickly.
Cordero flips it over for R.J. Neal, and up ahead they come now. Gronbach, and there's a pass that misses, and they're not going to be able to get a shot away after all. So we've reached the end of the first quarter, and the Spartans lead it big over the visiting Wingate Bulldogs, 5-0.
TampaSpartans.tv 4-5 matchup. First 15 minutes, and now we'll get a word from our proud sponsor, Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
Robin.
And I'm Chris.
We're the brothers behind Firehouse Subs. The last thing anyone needed was another sub shop.
They needed a better one.
We built Firehouse Subs on quality and quantity.
And I'm the quality.
Why my quantity?
Are you kidding?
Try our hook and ladder sub.
Smoked turkey breast, Virginia honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese.
Yeah, all served steaming hot on a toasted sub roll. Our way beats their way. If you don't agree,
it's free.
On him.
It's on him.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
Back live, the Spartans in a 5-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and shots on goal in the first quarter 7-2 in favor of UT. 7 of their 14 shots were on goal, likewise a 50% for Wingate. 2 of their 4 shots on goal, but obviously the biggest number on the scoreboard, 5-0. So Brian Karn pitching a shutout so far as the teams have switched ends and ready to start the second quarter of play. And for head coach Tim Boyle, have to hope that he had something motivational for the Bulldogs in that quarter break. It's going to get them not only turning things around, but in a hurry, trailing by 5.
Definitely, and we see Ross Dickerson that won the 7th consecutive faceoff, so Wingate needs to start getting the ball so they have possession. And for the Spartans, 5 goals by 5 different players, so them sharing the ball, keeping the offense going. And we have a timeout now by Coach Rory Whipple.
Just 19 seconds into the quarter.
Get a quick word from our friends at Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we listen.
And we've been listening for more than 55 years.
To customers and employees.
In fact, there was an Enterprise employee who came up with the idea of picking you up when you need to rent a car.
It was a great idea.
At your house, at the repair shop, we'll pick you up.
Wherever you need us,
we'll be there. Listening. Let us show you what that means.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Back with you here during this timeout at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus. The number 4 Tampa Spartans and the number 5 Wingate Bulldogs. And the Spartans come into this game with a 14-5 overall 1-loss record. Wingate 13-3. And a couple of teams that like to play home games. Wingate 9-1 at home and 4-2 on the road. So 10 home games and only 6 on the road. And similarly for UT, 11 games at home and only 5 on the road. 8-3 here on the University of Tampa campus. So using home field to their advantage thus far for sure.
Definitely. And the Spartans, they played the Bulldogs 6 years ago, March 5th, and won here in Namoli 21-2. And if it's anything like the first period, we may have a score like that. But obviously, the Bulldogs will have something to say about that. We'll try to get a stop. But let's see what Coach Roy Whipple and the Spartans drew up in that timeout.
And right away you see there Andrew Q signaling Brian Wright, who pulls it back out towards midfield. Now to Matt Vetter across the Wingate line. Vetter a spin move, and Andrew Q left wide open And the only thing stopping this game from being 6-0 is the goalpost helping out Alex Cordero. And possession remains with the Spartans as Kilkowski puts it in play. And for all the talk that we've been giving to Alex Cordero being a freshman goaltender for Wingate, as much as I've called Harry Kilkowski's name, let's not overlook the fact that he's a freshman as well for UT.
Yeah, stepping up at the big stage, regional game, trying to help his team get a victory.
Matt Vetter on the move now, a senior. And now stepping over the line, Q. And a pass inside misses for Moshe McGraw. It's on the ground. I'm not sure that Matt Vetter knew that it was there, but it's scooped up by Cordero. And the outlet pass misses. Four of them converge on the ground ball. And right down in front of the scorers table. Now it bounces out to midfield. Still not controlled by either team.
Look at the Spartans swarming everywhere, but now numbers for the Bulldogs trying to get on the board.
And Ferentinos sent a pass over Wingate.
And the violation that time, self-inflicted, cannot afford to do that. And the Spartans now with the ball.
So UT will go back to work here. And bringing it up quickly across midfield, that's Hunter Van Horn. Starts to slow it down and sends his pass over for Q. Andrew Q is one of the 5 UT goal scorers thus far. This is Brian Wright with it, who also has one of the goals. And now sends it over for, you guessed it, another goal scorer, Chris Cox. Cox over for Moshe McGraw and looked at Andrew Q, held it, and now sends it to Q. And Q trying to get around his check on the far side, watching him. It's James Houston. And now a loose ball is going to be chased down.
We've talked about how good the Spartan offense has been, but it is the defense getting in a signature stance, getting stop after stop, and controlling this game with pretty much the entirety thus far being here in Bulldog territory.
Harry Kilkowski was, for all intents and purposes, left unchecked there. And for the Bulldogs, fortunately, Alex Cordero marked him the whole way, was able to make the stop. And so now Wingate trying to set up in the UT end of the field as Joe Cooper has it.
And how about the transition defense by the Spartans? Cordero had a midfield outlet pass for the Spartans getting back in time, forcing Wingate to slow it down.
Cooper sends a pass into the UT end, and now they'll send it back out to Cooper again as he pushes a pass over for Lorandi. Cooper one more time. Spartans at work defensively here as this is Connor Gronbach and isn't able to get a shot through as it looked like Tyrell blocked that one and gave his goaltender Karin some help as the Spartans start out of their own end.
When the Bulldogs have gotten shots, they've been heavily contested. That time the double team by the Spartans. New shot clock, slowing it down. Kansai Gary with a full head of steam.
Yeah, not unlike the Lightning players sliding on the ice, stop the pucks from reaching their goaltender. It's a team effort for sure, and Brian Karn has had their back so many times they're repaying him thus far with the strong defensive play thus far this evening.
Yeah, Brian Karn has made a few key saves, and now working the ex-veteran.
Pass in front, and it's going to roll out. And I think some folks were looking for a cross-check perhaps against the Bulldogs. Not the case, though, as Wingate starts it up.
Easily could have been a penalty with the tight whistle we've had thus far. But look at the Spartans causing havoc right now. Wingate not comfortable, trying to find anything on offense.
And with it now is Bobby Padden. Sends a pass over for Piazza. And Cooper connecting with Lorandi. And here goes Ryan Ormerod. His pass into the corner and sent over on the other side. And just no quality looks at the net right now for Wingate so far on offense. As they look to send a cutter down the middle, can't get it to him, and they regroup up top with Ormerod once again.
Yeah, Ferentinos was open. His teammate missed him down the lane.
into the corner. Pass in front, Brian Karn. What a great play there. Not necessarily making a save, but causes the turnover. And the Spartans going back to work on offense as they cross midfield.
Brian Karn and the Tampa defense putting on a clinic right now up in the Wingate grill. And nothing coming easy as we have 8:40 left in the first half. Check that 9:30 in the first half.
Jake Moshe McGraw for Matt Vetter, as Wingate wants to make some personnel changes. Ferentinos came off for them. Vetter working for UT. Vetter looking for some room, has it, scores! Matt Vetter, and now that's 6 different goal scores for the Spartans. And a half dozen goals, and still nothing for Wingate with 9:15 to go here in the second quarter.
Love the Tampa formation there. Get a bubble screen for Matt Vetter coming across the right side. Gripping to rip it, 6-0 Tampa, and they are not looking back. All Spartans in the first half.
And so Ross Dickerson goes out there against Reese Orman for Wingate on this face-off. And as we've well documented thus far, it has been all Ross Dickerson in the face-off circle. And these face-offs are only going to become that much more important the longer this game goes on in terms of UT having this kind of a lead. And here go the Bulldogs to work offensively. It was 5-0 UT after the first quarter. And now the lead inflated to 6.
It'll be interesting as we now have under 9 minutes to see how the Bulldogs handle adversity. Can they strike and get something going, or will Tampa continue their dominance?
And there's a shot that Karn got a piece of. It goes out of bounds off the stick of Ryan Ormerod. And so the Bulldogs put it back into play. And there's a quick shot. That one's going to go out as well. And possession remains with Wingate.
And the lopsided shot differential. Spartans 20 shots, just 5 for the Bulldogs. We'll look to change that.
Connor Gronbach goes down, gets back up, and was able to retain possession throughout that. As Gavin Perry chases defensively for UT. Now a pass up top, and they send it over for Lorandi. Alex Lorandi. Oh, and a shoulder.
That's a blindside hit. There's the flag. Yep. Getting a little bit chippy out there. Let's see the officials coming in to clear things up.
Getting a lot of bit chippy out there. And if you're head coach Tim Boyle, certainly not the way you want to see your Wingate Bulldogs reacting.
And that can happen time to time. Emotions kick in. 6-0 trying to make a play to spark, but not the right one there. And now a huddle with the officials. Spartans should come away with the ball as we have an even 8 minutes left in the first half.
And to that point, I'm curious to see if it's going to be an underclassman perhaps who took the penalty, because certainly down 6-0, the emotions get the best of you. If you're a veteran, you're probably able to keep things in check a little bit more. But let's see who the call is going to be against for Wingate, as this certainly is not where they want to be. They're already down 6-0, and so the last thing you need is a penalty, a man down situation, and really open the door for UT to go to work on number 7. It's a illegal body check called against Joe Cooper, who is a junior, so a 1-minute penalty that, again, as I was saying, gives the Spartans a golden opportunity.
Yeah, Tampa's so good with the man advantage. Can they capitalize? Let's see. Moving the ball side to side.
Over to Matt Vetter. Back to Moshe McGraw. And sent down behind the net. This is Chris Cox. Fires a pass for Andrew Q. Quickly back to Cox. And rapid ball movement by the Spartans now on this man advantage situation. And there's still 30 seconds left in it. There's a pass over for Moshe McGraw. Looked at Q, looks at him again, opts the far side, Matt Vetter, and I think Cordero may have gotten a piece of that one. The official there calls possession in favor of UT. The Wingate coaching staff very unhappy with that decision, but play continues. Here's Vetter again, and a window opened, gave it to Brian Wright instead. Now a pass in front is dropped, and Colin White trying to get there, and the Bulldogs able to come away with the loose ball. And just as the penalty expires to Joe Cooper, however, it's turned over. Here's Moshe McGraw. Now he lost the handle and shovels it ahead. Andrew Q grabs it, and the Spartans will settle it down now. 6:45 to go in the first half.
Yeah, look at Rory Whipple over there in the coaching box telling his team what he wants. Slow it down. We got 6.5 to go. Let's work it side to side, get a quality look.
And here's Chris Cox across the Wingate line. Up top to Vetter, and a return. Cox working one-on-one there against Mark Ticard. Pass over on the far side. Moshe McGraw sends it in behind the net. Brian Wright back there. Wright starts his move. Comes out in front. Gets a shot away. Scores! Brian Wright with his second goal of the game. And the Spartans' lead extends to 7-0 with 6:07 left here in the first half.
Simply a stud making a play, because that was a triple team, not bad defense at all by Wingate. But Brian Wright with the motor, the drive, and the Spartans now 7-0, looking to build on what has been a perfect first half, both offensively and defensively.
And what a shooting percentage for the Spartans. They've scored on 7 of their 10 shots on goal.
Yeah, Spartans, the attention to detail is evident right now. They are winning the little things, the 50-50 balls. And this guy, Ross Dickerson, face-off specialist, continuing to operate. Is that one loose?
And 3 of them chase it down. There were 2 Bulldogs there, and in fact Wingate does come out of the pack with it as they send it over to the far side of the field.
Crucial for the Bulldogs to get a moral victory at least here with 5 minutes to go, something to build on, but the defense again on display by Tampa.
Turned over, and Brian Wright, who just scored the goal, has it now as UT will go back to work once again on offense, and only 3 shots on goal, only 6 shots total for that matter for Wingate through more than 1.5 quarters of play here. The Spartans on offense over on the far side of the field. That's Luke Curran. Curran in behind the net. Curran backing up towards the end line and being watched back there by Alex Larandy. Now Curran starts his move, spins and takes a shot. That one's going to go out of play, and possession will stay with the Spartans. Exactly 5 minutes left here in the second quarter as it's put back in. Chris Cox with it. Up top now. Curran on the move. Curran put his head down, can't get past the defender as another slides over to help out. So they have to reset up top with Kansai Gary. And now Andrew Q on the move. Q slips past the defender, sends a pass inside. Colin White couldn't get the shot away, and he goes down. They're going to call a push against the Bulldogs. So Wingate can't catch a break even there where they thought they were going to get it in transition.
Simple pick and roll action. White just could not hold on to it. Delayed call keeps it with the Spartans, and we approach 4 minutes to go in the half. Crucial for the Spartans. Keep your foot on the gas pedal and finish the first 30 minutes how you started.
Chris Cox jogs it over to the Wingate line and now steps inside looking for room, sends it behind the net instead, and a quick pass in front does not connect, and Cordero covers up in his own goal crease. And now Cordero opts for James Houston, who will start it out. His pass up ahead for Reese Orman across midfield. And now here's Bobby Padden. 7-0 UT in the lead. It was 5-0 after 1. And they've gotten 2 more here in the second quarter. I'm going to go on a limb and say so far, the way this offense has just been a well-oiled machine.
And for Wingate, somebody has to step up, make a play, get the first goal out of the way. That's the hardest one to get sometimes. But this pesky defense by the Spartans, nothing easy coming forward.
Pierpont sent a pass over. Now up top, Cooper. Cooper starts his move, takes a shot. That one's going to go wide and out of play. And possession will remain with Wingate.
And how about that on-ball defense by Luke Robideau, pushing the Wingate attacker out of the zone, and it was an errant shot.
With it now is Bobby Padden, being watched by Jack Tyrell, passed down in behind the UT net. Trying to come out in front, and some strong defense applied by UT. That's going to cause a turnover. And so the Spartans get it back with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first half. As Hunter Van Horn gives to Harry Kilkowski. Both teams making personnel changes. This is Jake Moshe McGraw. And off the field will go Hunter Van Horn. Brian Wright on the run. Wright keeps it himself, and Cordero makes the save. And now physical play in front of the net. And Cordero outlets quickly. And this is Sean Moran running it up across midfield for Wingate.
Web gem saved there by Cordero to keep the Spartans from adding to that total. Can his team pick him up?
And he prevented Brian Wright from getting a hat trick in just the first half alone. In the meantime, his teammate Joe Cooper has it at the other end of the field, outside the Tampa line. And now a substitution for the Bulldogs, and here comes Cooper once again. Cooper shot, scores! Joe Cooper finally gets Wingate on the board with 1:43 to go in the second quarter.
And all of a sudden, with that unassisted goal, this game may start to close in a little bit. Wingate gets on the board with 1:43 now. Look to add to this momentum.
Cooper had 22 goals in 16 games coming into tonight. And now Ross Dickerson will go out for the faceoff. A reminder that at halftime of our broadcast, the audio portion will go silent. Do not adjust your viewing device. You will still see video on your screen. Just set a timer to be back in time for the call of the third quarter, a 10-minute half, as we are 1 minute 31 seconds away from that point.
And we will get a quick word from Charleston Charles Sabathia and Pepsi, serving fun and refreshment for over 100 years.
0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Tommy, T-H-O.
Cece, glad you made it. Ricky wins again.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa. Only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
Back live, we are in a timeout, and 1 minute 31 seconds until halftime, and the Spartans have finally seen Wingate get on the board. And it took until very late in the second quarter as Joe Cooper finally solves Brian Karn on the fourth shot on goal of the game for Wingate, an unassisted goal. And now the players start to break the huddles and come back out onto the field.
Smart timeout here by Rory Whipple and the Spartans. 91 seconds. You have 70 on the shot clock. So essentially you can pretty much keep the ball in Bulldog territory the remainder of the half and hopefully score if you're a Spartan fan to answer Wingate, who got on the board with Cooper. But for the Spartans defense, that was not bad at all. Cooper had to work for that, penetrating 2 defenders, and he was pretty far out when he made that shot as we get ready to resume play.
And UT will put it in from the near corner as Matt Vetter has it and gets the official's whistle. Sends it up top to Brian Wright. Looks over at Vetter and now opts to go the other way instead. Sends a pass over for Jake Moshe McGraw. UT initially looking like they may use as much clock as possible. We'll see how this continues to unfold as it's sent over here to Matt Vetter. And Vetter being watched there by R.J. Neal right in front of the Wingate sideline. And now Vetter just killing time as the shot clock is down to 30 seconds, about a 21-second difference. So the Spartans will have to get a shot away at some point. Here's Brian Wright with it. Wright has the benefit of the shot clock right nearby and catches a stick up around the helmet area, around his neck. And we do have a flag thrown, so we're going to get a late penalty here against Wingate with 34.3 seconds left in the first half.
Ed Feaster on the call, but the spin move by Brian Wright, very silky smooth, getting into the lane and drawing the penalty with 34 seconds left in the first half.
And Connor, you had mentioned before on the Brian Wright goal that it was just all Brian Wright that enabled that goal to take place, and I think Wingate took notice of that and saw him making the effort he was starting to make there and thought, well, maybe this is the only way we're going to stop this guy.
Yeah, Brian Wright, he has a knack for putting defenders on skates. We saw that time and time again, and now with the 1-minute penalty that will be going against James Houston, the Spartans knocking on the door, but it's a ground ball that Vetter will collect.
Slashing was the call against Houston, so the Spartans, unless they score right away, they will finish out the half with the man advantage as the game clock is now down to 15 seconds, and Vetter sends a pass over to Brian Wright. Wright looks down again at the remaining clock and starts his move in, looks for Q. They're double teaming Brian Wright on the far side of the field, rolls it to Q, and they're not going to get a shot away as the horn goes to end the first half. A half dominated by the Spartans as they go into the break with a lead of 7-1, and we'll be back in 10 minutes with the call of the third quarter between the Spartans and the Wingate Bulldogs.
like I'm talking. Walk it 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 like I'm talking. Hey, I gotta stay in my zone. Say that we been beefing, dog, but you on your own. First night, she gon' let me, cause we grown. I hit her, gave her back to the city, she home. That was bad, so I can't be beefing with no bag. Got no bag, mom. Heard you living in a mansion and now your rap stone. But your shit look like the trap on this Google Maps, though. We been brothers since Versace Bando. Whoa. Name ringing like Amigo trap phone. Whoa. Used to be with Basti and Santos. That's on Tommy Campos. We live like Sopranos. And I walk it like I'm talking. Walk it like I'm talking. Walk it like I'm talking. We just need to slow the motion. Don't give it away to no one. Long distance, I need you. When I see potential, I just gotta see through. If you ain't swinging, I'll still choose you. I don't wanna rush into it if it's too soon. I know you need to get done. If you come on. Sorry for my best friend. I got this trying to end it all. I spilled all my emotions tonight, I'm sorry. Rolling. How many more shots until you're rolling? We just need a face to face. You can pick the time and the place. You will spend some time away. Now you need to forward and give me all the way.
I should lift this up. Back live at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus, and all set to start the second half, where the host Tampa Spartans have a big 7-1 lead over the visiting Wingate Bulldogs, and a first half that was every bit as one-sided as the score would seem to indicate. Brian Wright leading the way for UT with 2 goals and 5 different goal scorers after that. As you see play underway here, and UT still with the man advantage for 19 more seconds as they have it in behind the Wingate net.
Spartans knocking on the door here. Brian Wright, Moshe McGraw.
And down on the crease, Colin White, a pass over Matt Vetter. That one may have hit the goalpost, and it rolls out of play. And just 5 seconds left on the Wingate penalty against James Houston. And so UT puts it back in. And Vetter with a pass inside. Oh, and it hit the goalpost. And goaltender Alex Cordero has received help from a number of goalposts tonight. Otherwise, this score could be a lot more out of control than the 7-1 that we're currently at.
Definitely. Wingate gets a break. Is Vetter with a crease violation? What can the Bulldogs do moving it near midfield?
Wingate starts out of their own end. The goaltender Cordero over for Reese Orman. Orman connecting up ahead with Mark Ticard. And he connects with Dominic Piazza. Over now for Lorandi. And playing catch over there, turns the other way and gives it to Connor Gronbach. Gronbach stops, leaves a pass back. Wingate's only goal coming late in the second quarter off the stick of Joe Cooper. And now they have it in behind the Spartan net. Pass up top now. Cooper. And this is that's Lorandi. And the Spartans, a nice job there to shut down the lane as that one's stopped by Brian Karn. And possession remains with Wingate, and they get a fresh shot clock. And they put it back in up top with Ryan Ormerod. Starts his move. Spartans not giving anything defensively as it's taken in behind the UT net. Out on the other side. Over there is Bobby Padden for Wingate. Padden tiptoeing his way around the crease. He's pushed by Jack Tyrell and has to send it to Gronbach. And up top now they'll try the other side. And the Bulldogs halfway through their shot clock and have not got a good look at the net.
Spartans defense everywhere right now. 30 on the shot clock. What can they do?
And turning the corner, nothing there for Lorandi, and they turn it over, and quickly come the Spartans as Kilkowski takes it up across the line, and both teams will make changes here.
Superb defensive stand by the Spartans as they possess it now in Bulldog territory.
And that's Luke Curran over for Gary, and now Matt Vetter back to Gary again.
And the wind has picked up dramatically here in Namoli. See a lot of jerseys flurrying, and players and officials on the field have to deal with that.
Our game time temperature was 84 degrees. It has since dropped to 80. Still a beautiful night and a good crowd here watching this game, as the Spartans with the opportunity to host a NCAA first-round playoff game. And now Vetter turns the corner, shoots, and scores! Matt Vetter, I think that one fooled Alex Cordero. And UT gets on the board 3 minutes and 36 seconds into this third quarter for what is now an 8-1 lead.
Matt Vetter joins Brian Wright now with 2 goals apiece. The answer, the unassisted shot, and the Spartans back up by 7.
And now waiting for the face-off. To update you on that category, the Spartans have won 8 of 10 face-offs in this game. And Ross Dickerson wins that one cleanly. And Dickerson quickly across the Wingate line. Dickerson wanted to take it to the net. Now shoots and scores! Ross Dickerson.
All right, the backflip almost, but the goal is good. And the Spartans lead 9-1.
Three minutes, 50 seconds into the third quarter. And you talked before about hard work by Brian Wright, and that was just hard work by Ross Dickerson winning the face-off and then taking it down, circles behind the net, and gets the goal.
Yeah, Ross Dickerson has been the X factor. He has won 9 of 11 faceoffs, completely dictating the tempo. It's the Ross Dickerson show tonight, 9-1 Spartans.
And came into this game with just 3 goals in 19 games.
And nobody more deserving. He does not get a ton of the credit offensively when he gets his team the ball. That time, taking it himself. Now the Spartans starting to pull away.
And so Wingate going to work here on offense. Dylan Berry. And now the pass, and here's Dominic Piazza with it. And Berry once again. His pass over. And the Bulldogs have their work cut out for them for sure. Berry's pass over, and there's a shot. Nice save by Brian Karn on the Joe Cooper attempt. And so UT will start it up once again, and they play it back for Karn. That was Luke Robidoux, and now with the far side of the field is Jack Tyrell. And a pass connects up at the Wingate line.
6 save there by Karn, and he's been dialed in all game. The job by the senior in the crease, propelling the Spartans right now.
Harry Kilkowski for Jake Moshe McGraw. Moshe McGraw has one of UT's goals tonight. Vetter sends it over for Kilkowski. Kilkowski being watched loosely there by Mark Ticard. And we're going to get a turnover here. And so Wingate will start back quickly, sprinting across midfield. And now there's a pass left, and quick passing by the Bulldogs. And up top with it, it's Bobby Padden. Padden trying to get past Tyrell. And trying to set a pick was Mark Ticard, who ended up on the field. As this is Piazza. Gave it to Gronbach, who had just come on the field.
This Tampa defense has been feisty. Head on a swivel, lock up and guard. Been doing it all night.
And behind the UT net. And quickly out in front. The Spartans able to settle it as they play it back to Karn. And now Jack Tyrell will headman it for Matt Vetter. Vetter across midfield, drops it, and picks it back up as converging was Reese Ormond for Wingate. And Vetter looking for some help now. He'll get it from Jake Moshe McGraw, who just came on.
We'll say it again and again, but the remarkable goaltending play by Brian Karn, the senior, has resurged. And this Tampa team, when everything is clicking, they are tough to beat right now. And they've dominated all game long, and for Wingate, just have not gotten in a rhythm yet.
Brian Karn has stopped 7 of the 8 shots that he has faced thus far. as Chris Cox is calling for it here on the near side. Brian Wright jogs it up just outside the line, keeps it on that side of the field with Kilkowski. Kilkowski on the move and being chased back there by Robbie Williams. And it's deep in behind the Wingate net, now starting to move. Kilkowski sends it back the other way. Shot coming from Moshe McGraw, and Cordero made the save. He saw that one the whole way. And the Bulldogs will start out. And just like that, we are already at the halfway point of the third quarter. And this clock is going to feel like it's ticking very quickly for Wingate, the longer that it takes them to get back on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Tampa controlling this game defensively, but now a flurry and a shot. Oh, off the goalpost.
And that one goes out of play, and possession will remain with the Bulldogs as it'll be put back in play back there by Ryan Ormerod. And quickly now to Piazza.
And we have seen about 10 shots go off the pipe from both sides. How this game could be different.
It could have a very different look to it on both sides of the scoreboard. And a forced turnover there by UT. And so Karn settles it down and sends it over to the other side of the field as Tyrell brings it up slowly.
And to go off what you were saying earlier, Bruce, Spartans in 0 rush right now, an 8-goal advantage. Although they turn it over. Wingate on the move.
And some sloppy play there. Now it's picked up for the Bulldogs. And Wingate changing as Connor Gronbach steps on the field. And it's rolled to him. And now this is Joe Cooper. Cooper across the line. And there's a shot that Karn got a piece of from Ryan Ormerod, and some close play along the back line. Nice passing, and oh, what a save by Brian Karn. And a couple of players go down, and a flag is thrown, and now play getting physical in there, and we're going to have a penalty called, and another flag is thrown.
I believe some unnecessary roughness after the initial whistle against the Bulldogs, but the first one could go either way as it was getting a little bit nitpicky. Let's see what the call is. The officials huddling right now.
And this coming with 5:50 to go in the third quarter. And it could be a case, Connor, of Wingate. It's a road game. It's a long trip for them. And this game has never really been close, with the possible exception of when it was 1-0 Tampa.
Yes.
Wingate has never really had a reason to, I don't want to say keep their emotions in check, but to feel that they were a part of this game. And now this is the second or possibly the third time that we've seen them start to lose their cool.
Absolutely. And the beauty of competition is you feel for the Bulldogs. Like you said, they have not been in a rhythm. They're trying to spark anything they can get to get them going one way or another. It's been an accreditation to the Spartan defense that has not caved in. They've stood tall, held their ground, and now we get the call.
Well, and the other side of it is that in some of these penalties that they've taken, they've been successful in killing them off, and you would think that would be the momentum where they would rally and say, we got through it, and now we just need to solve Brian Karn. But instead, you start to see this kind of play, and if you're head coach Tim Boyle, you got to be throwing your arms up in the air in frustration.
Exactly, and in net, Brian Karn, senior, of course, Cordero, the freshman, the veteran, taking it to the rookie a little bit, making some key saves, and that's just experience right there. Cordero will grow as he continues to move along, but Karn, he's been there time and time again.
And for Brian Karn, it's a senior thing, and it's also a pride thing in terms of you're coming into our field, so you're going to have to really earn it. We're not going to give you anything here in our own home stadium in front of our fans.
Exactly.
And knowing that this is the NCAAs now, this is not a regular season game where you say, oh, well.
Yes, indeed. First round South Regionals. Both teams have been so good all year long at home. Spartans showing that tonight.
And the penalties were called against Bobby Padden for Wingate, a 1-minute unnecessary roughness penalty. As you see them finally getting on the board there against UT. The call, a 1 minute, also unnecessary roughness penalty, was called against Nicholas Parrott. But in the meantime, with 5:28 to go in the third quarter, Wingate finally gets on the board.
Senior Connor Grombeck with the shot from downtown, the assist to Alex Larandi, and Wingate trying to start something here. Still have some time on the clock, over 20 minutes, only down by 7, so they are not going to go down without a fight.
And 39 seconds remaining in those penalties. And of course, for the Spartans, they want to make sure that Wingate can't find any momentum from that whatsoever. And it falls back into the hands of Ross Dickerson, where the momentum has been the whole game. Faceoffs are 9-3 in favor of the Spartans.
And the Spartans' defense has been fabulous. The 2 goals scored by the Bulldogs, they really have had to earn it, as we have a slight delay right now. Both coaches, Boyle and Whipple, asking for an exclamation.
And for Wingate, opposing Ross Dickerson will be Reese Orman, a sophomore from Apple Valley, Minnesota. As you see, one of the officials right in front of the scores table talking to what looks like both coaching staffs now. And the officials still not happy in terms of being ready to execute this face-off between Dickerson and Orman.
And hats off to the Spartan coaching staff. They came in with a game plan. They have executed it thus far, and now it's just a matter of finishing it off. And for Wingate, opportunity, just hang around. Don't necessarily have to get all 7 back right away, but just loom around, keep yourselves in the game, see what happens.
And it looks like we might be getting another penalty called here against Luke Robidoux of UT. So we'll check for the call and see what transpired, but this is a peculiar turn of events here.
Yes, indeed. Tempers flaring. This may favor the Bulldogs. They're trying to get something, but Ross Dickerson will have no part of that. Wins the faceoff.
So the Spartans with the ball, even though Luke Robidoux has been called for a penalty. So the Spartans holding on as you see the ball pops out into the face-off circle area, and it's slapped at by 4 different players.
Not sure how Brian Wright was able to
came out of there with the ball.
Yeah.
And Q goes 1-on-2 and finally pulls it back out. And the penalty slate is wiped clean on the scoreboard.
2 improbable plays there. The Bulldogs amping up the defensive intensity, first with Brian Wright walking the tightrope on the sidelines, and Andrew Q going through a quadruple team. Spartans come away with the ball, 20 to shoot.
That's Matt Vetter working on the far side of the field. Vetter over for Jake Moshe McGraw. He takes a quick look at the scoreboard and the adjacent shot clock, and UT needs to get one off. 5 seconds on the shot clock. They're just going to roll it into the corner, so they won't be able to get a shot away. And it's turned over. 4 minutes, 6 seconds left here in the third quarter. Wingate has finally gotten back on the board. The score is 9-2.
And a heads-up veteran play by Matt Vetter there as the Spartans look to get the loose ball. They come away temporarily.
Play by Colin White. Colin White had knocked down the pass. The Bulldogs come out of the pack with it, but now the official right there on the spot to call that one. And so the Spartans will get the ball back. We have a flag thrown on the far side of the field, so all of a sudden a lot of flags being thrown here, and this comes with 3:44 remaining in the third quarter.
And as most of these games are, a 4-5 matchup, 2 teams relatively similar talent. It comes down to the 50-50 ground balls, and the Spartans have won those thus far, but we're starting to see here in the second half Wingate forcing more opportunities, and if they can start being successful on that, this game could change slightly.
Yeah, in fact, ground balls to this point 27-16 in favor of UT.
James Houston, 30 seconds for delay of game.
And now a penalty called against the Bulldogs, a 30-second delay of game penalty against James Houston.
Tampa knocking on the door.
Spartans threatening to hit double digits now with the man advantage as there's a pass in front and unable to get the shot away. And it's in the corner now. Q behind the net. Colin White, a quick pass over. And now they fire it up top. Matt Vetter has a little bit of room to work with. Sends it for Q. It's passed inside, deflected off the stick of Moshe McGraw. And it goes out of play. And this will be turned over.
The one thing I will say in the first 12 minutes of the second half here, whatever Tim Boyle's message was at the half has connected with his team. They've played with a lot more energy. Maybe a little bit too late, though, trailing by 7, but they have matched the Spartans here in the third period.
Well, and if you look at the line score, really the difference in this game has, for all intents and purposes, been that first quarter, which UT won by a score of 5-0, because it's been 4-2 ever since then. So, Wingate, it took them a while to get their legs and to really get into the flow of the game, albeit too little too late. We'll still find out. There's 18 minutes left in this game. But that first quarter is really the difference, and it could be a product of coming into a stadium that you're not familiar with against an opponent that you're not familiar with, and a little bit of that, oh my gosh, we're in the NCAA playoffs now.
And to go off that, kudos to Tampa for opening face-off. They came ready to play. They wasted no time. They got off to that early lead. Now it's just a matter of holding on to it as the Bulldogs in Spartan territory, 60 on the shot clock.
2 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. This is Joe Cooper with it for Wingate. And across the UT line, being chased by Hunter Van Horn. It's on the ground and turned over as the Spartans come out of the pack with it. And now it's kicked at, and the loose ball is picked up by the Bulldogs. Joe Cooper with it.
Yeah, one of those scenarios, leave it all on the field. Cannot take it home with you. Survive in advance.
Alex Lorandi looking for some room. Sends it over for Cooper. And sends a pass in front, and that shot misses the net and goes out of play. Taken by Connor Gronbach.
And by far the best look of the game for the Bulldogs up close.
And now Jack Tyrell. They score! Some strong defense there by Tyrell, but making his way through there was Bobby Padden. And so the Bulldogs get on the scoreboard with 1:50 to go in the third quarter. The score now 9-3.
Bobby Padden gets his 28th goal of the season. One of the main catalysts for the Bulldogs offense.
And now you see that quarter by quarter improvement. They were scoreless in the first. I'm talking about Wingate. They had 1 goal in the second. Now they've got 2 in the third. So as I said, will it be too little too late? We'll find out in 16 minutes and 50 seconds of lacrosse time.
And we've covered the Spartans all year long. When adversity strikes, they stay poised, they stay faithful to the system. And we're seeing that right now. Ross Dickerson on the move.
And Dickerson brings it down and takes a shot that goes out of play. And possession over to Wingate.
And I think Ross Dickerson wanted to try a backflip to make up for that last one there, trying to go all the way.
As Wingate brings it across midfield.
90 seconds left in the third period. Game slowing down here. Monumental possession for Wingate. A goal could potentially cut this back to 5.
Well, and the thing is that they can't slow it down. Number one, there's more time left on the game clock than there is on the shot clock. So they should try to get a shot off sooner than later, try to get a turnover, they should try to score and then win the face-off. But they've still got their work cut out for them, needing to score 6 goals after they've scored only 3 through the first 3 quarters. And now another flag thrown, and a goal is signaled, and indeed it does stand. So Wingate scores again, and now it's 9-4, making me look good, as there's 58.2 seconds left in the third quarter, so plenty of time for them to get another. And of course, we'll wait and see what the flag is for on the far side of the field.
Well, Lacrosse, a game of runs. The Spartans were on a run pretty much the first 30 minutes. But here in the latter few minutes of the third period, the Wingate Bulldogs making their indentation. Some individuals stepping up, making big-time plays, and we got ourselves a ball game now.
Yeah, Wingate has scored the game's last 3 goals and 4 of the last 6. So they're making it interesting here.
Crucial face-off, as the team that comes away with it can hold for the last shot of the period.
And that will be UT, as Ross Dickerson wins that one cleanly and takes it down into the Wingate end of the field. He has now won 12 of 15 face-offs on the night, as Kilkowski has it now for UT, and Kilkowski steps across the line as Ross Dickerson slow in getting off the field. Rather physical possession there, as the Spartans are obviously going to work for the last shot. There's only 17 left in this quarter, seconds that is. And so let's see who will get the final shot player-wise. And Vetter over to Moshe McGraw, shoots, and that one's wide and out of play. 3.6 seconds left. So they'll have to work quickly here, as Kilkowski will put it back in, and does, and tried to send it in front, but it was intercepted by Sean Moran, sent the length of the field, as the horn goes to end the third quarter with the Spartans in the lead by a score now of 9-4.
And we will get a quick word from our friends at AT&T, because just okay is not okay. Live on TampaSpartans.tv.
Amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T, and we know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
More great camera features and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment and more spokespeople. Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T Unlimited plans, get HBO for life. Only.
Back live as we are almost set to start the fourth quarter. And for Wingate, they've really started to find their offense, at least insofar as they are now out shooting Tampa 15-14. And as I mentioned, they are streaking in terms of finding the back of the net. The last 3 quarters, the last 3 goals, and 4 of the last 6, as the score is now 9-4 in favor of the home team, heading into what we'll find out soon if it'll be the final 15 minutes of the game.
And you hit the nail on the head, Bruce. In the first half, the Spartans outshot the Bulldogs 25-8. Different story here in the third. 12-7, Wingate outshot Tampa. As we have 15 minutes left in the first round of the South Regional 4-5 matchup, Division II Men's Lacrosse Championship. Connor Moore, Bruce Wozniak. Here we go. Which team will advance to the next round?
And the next game will be at Limestone on Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 12 noon start. As it's a 5-goal difference here in Tampa on a warm Thursday night. Spartans getting a NCAA home playoff game against the Wingate Bulldogs from up in North Carolina. This is Matt Vetter with it. Vetter over for Moshe McGraw, and back to Vetter again. Now on this side, Chris Cox with it across the Wingate line, motioning Kilkowski. Cox carries on, sends a pass in behind the net to Brian Wright. Wright with a little bounce, comes out in front, takes a shot, and a nice save made there by Alex Cordero as the Bulldogs start their way out of their own end and now connect at midfield as it was tipped by the Spartan player and across the UT line. And here comes Wingate offensively. That's Alex Lorandi and waits as Joe Cooper just came on and they give it to him. Cooper seems to be the quarterback of this Wingate offense. And they score again. And you're welcome, Joe Cooper, as he scores the goal to cut it to 9-5. And that'll be Cooper's second goal of the game.
Yeah, Wingate, they started slow, but they are coming on strong. And at 13:33, both teams playing with so much heart. It will be a clash here in the last few minutes. Big face-off ensuing.
Wingate goal scored by number 18, Joe Cooper.
And like you said, Joe Cooper has stepped up to the stage and has performed well, carrying his team right now.
Yeah, quite a run, 4 consecutive goals for the Bulldogs. At one point, they trailed in this game 9-1 and making a game out of it.
Yeah, it looked like it may be a runaway. It has been anything but that. 4-goal game, 13 minutes to go.
The expression late bloomers comes to mind as the Spartans have it in the far side of the field. That's Kilkowski. And over for Brian Wright, who sends it up top now to Kansai Gary.
And all of the momentum favoring Wingate right now. So the Spartans, they can score here. We go a great distance in terms of getting the crowd back on their side, get to double digits.
I was just going to say the crowd very quiet. As Curran puts his shoulder down, can't get a shot away, gives it to Andrew Q. And Q almost being dared and sends one, a worm burner as they call it. And now a ground ball, and that's going to end up right back with Andrew Q. As the coaching staff yelling instructions, the Spartans with a fresh shot clock. And Kansai Gary has it now over for Chris Cox. Cox, he's being watched closely, way out. And Cox tries to get a step, crosses the line. His pass does not connect. Kansai Gary can't handle it, and Wingate can't get to it either. And now the official there blows the whistle and possession awarded to the Bulldogs, and quickly they come. And there's a loose ball that's going to be chased to the far side by Ferentinos. And the Bulldogs able to control.
The crowd on the edge of their seat right now getting a little bit antsy as the Bulldogs making some noise.
Padden connects with Lorandi. And Alex Lorandi on the move, and Karn, a nice save there. Goes out of play on the far side of the field. Possession remains with Wingate.
What a job by Brian just to get a piece of that one. Nifty shot.
And now working Bobby Padden, who does have one of Wingate's 5 goals. And there's a pass over for Gronbach. It's into the corner now. Gronbach being watched by Hunter Van Horn. Gronbach pass connects with Padden right in front, and they score again. Josh Ferentinos. And the collar's starting to get a little tight on the jerseys of the Tampa Spartans. 9-6.
You know, momentum can play such a pivotal role, and it is right now. Everything is going the Bulldogs' way compared to nothing in the first half. So a change, and what a game it has turned out to be.
Everything is going their way with the possible exception of face-offs, and so a big opportunity for Ross Dickerson here, but it doesn't mean much if he wins the face-off and the Spartans don't do anything with it. It's also a bit of a shot in the arm for goaltender Alex Cordero for Wingate now at the same time. And here is that face-off between Reese Orman for Wingate and Ross Dickerson, who you saw win it for the Spartans, and Dickerson has it himself on the far side of the field. Dickerson has a little bit of room and now sends a pass back that's pulled down by Andrew Q. They're almost double teaming him, and Q is going to slow it down as the Spartans want to make some changes. Out comes Moshe McGraw along with Chris Cox, and going off was Casey Platanik. And now Matt Vetter with it. We're down to 10 minutes, 35 seconds in the fourth quarter. Vetter across the line. Vetter looks like he's going to shoot. Does, but it goes wide and out of play. Possession remains with UT as Harry Kilkowski will put it back into play. He's watched there by Mark Ticard. And here goes the freshman Kilkowski. Pops out in front. Pass for Vetter. Scores! Matt Vetter, and the goal streak for Wingate ends as the Spartans hit double digits. It's 10-6.
The pass from Harry Kilkowski leads to the hat trick for Matt Vetter. Spartans hit double digits, and what a time. They desperately needed that goal.
And we've talked about it so many times before that the Spartans have such a potent offense. I mentioned on the one play that it looked as though they were almost going to double team Andrew Q. And lo and behold, here's Q, who this whole game only has one goal. And you've got Matt Vetter that's got a 4-point night going, 3 goals and 1 assist. So a little bit of breathing room here. And I do wonder if Ross Dickerson was shaken up before, because now we're going to see Devin Hess take this face-off. I had mentioned that Dickerson looked a little worse for wear on the one possession where he came off the field slowly, and so now Devin Hess does win the face-off, and Brian Karn out behind his net sends a pass over for Nicholas Parrott, and it's up ahead now. Here comes Kansai Gary for UT.
It's a nice job by Devin Hess coming in relief. His number called on, wins the face-off, and now the Spartans with 55 to shoot can milk some clock.
Luke Curran with it. Curran, as his pass is intercepted, and here go the Bulldogs the other way, and Karn had to be alert and got a piece of that one as it rolls towards the corner and out. And despite a nice diving attempt there by Jack Tyrell, possession will remain with the Bulldogs.
Got some drama brewing right now. Both teams want it desperately.
And now starting from the corner, Bobby Padden. And he's in behind the UT net. Jack Tyrell all over him defensively. Gets a shot away. Karn with the save. Deflection, rebound, and the shot by the Bulldogs goes out.
Piazza had a wide open net, just missed it to the right.
Now the ball's back in. There's a shot wide out of play, taken by Alex Larandi. And the Bulldogs feeling pretty good about themselves. And we're going to get a timeout called here with 9:07 to go in the fourth quarter and a 10-6 Spartan lead.
Get a quick word from Mr. Empanada. You're listening live on TampaSpartans.tv.
Now. Empanada. It's Mr. Empanada to you.
Now serving up scrumptious empanadas in convenient Tampa Bay locations. Mr. Empanada.
The sum of difference is giant. Giant hearts, Giant differences in giant wins. On Jersey Mike's annual day of giving, 100% of sales go to a great cause in your community. Jersey Mike's.
Back live as we are in a timeout that is ending, and what has turned into a rather entertaining night of lacrosse, as the Spartans seemed like they had it on cruise control at one point, leading this game 9-1. And now a score of just 10-6.
Yeah, a game that has lived up to the hype. Typical 4-5 matchup when you get into regional play. And two teams not familiar with one another, but both teams playing with a ton of effort and giving it everything on the line right now as we resume play. 9:07 to go.
And Wingate getting ready to put it back in behind the UT net. And they do. That's Bobby Padden with it, and they send it up top to Joe Cooper. Cooper on the run, and there's a pass in front, doesn't connect, intended for Padden, and so it's turned over, and the Spartans catch a little bit of a break there.
Yeah, that time you see an errant pass from Cooper. He was trying to find a cutting Padden, nobody home, and the Spartans come away with it.
The goaltender Karn out of his net sends it over for Parrott. And now up ahead come the Spartans as it's sent to the senior Matt Vetter.
And you see the trust that Coach Roy Whipple and the coaching staff have in their players right now. They expect them. They've been there time and time again. Veteran ball club possessing it. 45 seconds getting into the formation. See what they can do. Chris Cox operating.
Matt Vetter and Brian Wright have combined for half of UT's goals. 3 for Vetter, 2 for Wright. And then 5 other players have 1 goal each.
And for the Bulldogs, they've kept the Sunshine State Player of the Year, Andrew Q, in check, but the Spartans' depth prevailing as we see a flag from Feaster.
And they score!
Matt Vetter. Mama, there goes that man. His 4th goal, and the Spartans back up by 5.
The penalty was going to be against Wingate, and Matt Vetter carried on anyways and beats Alex Cordero to give Tampa some breathing room as the score now goes to 11-6 with 7:53 remaining in the 4th quarter. So Wingate had that run where, as I said, they at one point were trailing in this game 9-1, and the Spartans have finally cooled them off. They stopped their run of 5 consecutive goals by back-to-back now from Vetter. And so it's not only 11-6, but we also have a unnecessary roughness penalty, 1 minute against Nick Guarino. And this could really be a setback for Wingate.
Especially when you're trailing late in the game, does not help the cause.
This is Gavin Perry. Sends it back. And now Dylan Carter sends a pass over, and he heads off the field as Matt Vetter steps on. And as much as they have held Andrew Q in check, Matt Vetter has made up for it. 4 goals and 1 assist for him.
Senior stepped up to the occasion. Big time night.
Q over to Vetter. And now back to Vetter again, and Q once more. Colin White on the far side. Moshe McGraw down to right. Vetter calling forward over here. And Q returns to Moshe McGraw. And Jake wants to shoot, does. Deflected, and that one goes out of play, and possession stays with the Spartans. Still 28 seconds on the shot clock, just 6 remaining in the penalty.
And that's a good point. Matt Vetter feeling it. Feed him. He's got the ball. Let him operate. It has been his night.
And so the Bulldogs back at full strength, but UT continuing to work here on offense. Q puts his shoulder down. Q fights through, bounces and scores! Andrew Q, what a goal!
Yeah, Andrew Q, we talk about it all the time. Defenses, they can keep him in check for most of the game perhaps, but not the entirety of the game. He is simply too good, and the Sunshine State Player of the Year now makes it 12-6, 6:32. So Wingate went on a mini run, but the Spartans have answered the call and are in line to move on if the score holds true.
Yeah, UT watched Wingate score 5 consecutive goals and have said it's our turn now, and so that's 3 in a row for the home team.
And good to see Ross Dickerson back out there for the face-off. It was a little bit hobbled, but he's a gamer, tough kid. It's going to take a lot to keep him on the sidelines.
UT has won 17 of 20 face-offs tonight. And let's not overlook goaltender Brian Karn, who has made 13 saves. And time is officially a factor now for Wingate, as they need to score as many goals in 6.5 minutes as they have in the entire game thus far.
Yeah, they have their work cut out for them, and the Spartans' defense has been so good all night long, keeping that head on a swivel. It's fun to see a group of guys that like to guard like Tampa does. They get in the stance, they do it better than anybody else, and right now, holding this high-octane offense to only 6 goals tonight.
Alex Larandy on the move in front, and Karn got a piece of that one, and it's chased down and picked up by Connor Gronbach, and whistle stops play with 5:51 remaining in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be turned over, it looks like, as possession to UT. Now there's some discussion down in the field, and there seems to be quite a bit of doubt.
As expected, it has been a tight whistle all night, a playoff atmosphere. The officials have done a good job keeping the game steady, both teams having to play with this game tempo.
And Coach Whipple was way out on the field for Tampa.
He's not afraid to go out there and to chime in with the officials.
And the Bulldogs get it right back. And a quick pass and a quick shot. That one deflects, and it didn't go out. Chased down into the corner by Ferentinos. And here come the Bulldogs. I think both teams kind of put on the brakes and thought it was going to go out of bounds, and it never got there. Ferentinos with the heads up chased it down, and now Wingate working it as they step across the Tampa line. There's a shot coming, and it goes wide and out of play.
And the storyline of the game, sorry to cut you off, Bruce, is Wingate has taken shots all from a far distance. They have had nothing up close, and that is just how the Spartans have defended all game long.
And they will put it back into play behind Brian Karn, and now a shot coming that Karn saw the whole way. A nice stop there, and Karn's going to settle it down and take it behind his own net. And as I said, give credit to the senior Brian Karn, the performance that he's put on here tonight in goal for the home team, making 15 saves.
And not only what he's done in the crease, he's been a vocal leader as well. He has been telling his defense where to be. Just a marvelous job all around by the senior goaltender. And we have an injured Spartan on the far side, slow to get up.
Yeah, that's Andrew Q.
Cannot afford to have him.
I think that might be frustration more than injury, that he dove and missed and figures it's been a long night. I missed my check. And now it's loose, and the Bulldogs, that one goes way high and out of play.
Yeah, Dominic Piazza with the airmail on that shot. And now with 4 minutes to go, the Spartans on their way to the second round of the NCAA South Regional. Got to continue to play stellar defense, which they have done the first 56 minutes. We have a 30-second offsides, I believe is the call on Q. So opportunity now arising for Wingate, but they throw it away. And it's been that kind of night, so-and-so, for the Bulldogs, where have not been on the same page against this tumultuous Spartan defense.
Yeah, and if there was going to be anything that was going to give them some hope, it's that Andrew Q penalty that they could have capitalized on with the man advantage. A quick goal would have raised some questions. Can they make one final comeback? But they turn it over, and UT is going to kill off the Q penalty. There's 8 seconds left on it. And now the penalty clock expires. So UT back at full strength as Jake Moshe McGraw flips it over for Chris Cox. And here's Andrew Q. Up ahead for Vetter. Vetter as the Spartans in no hurry now. There's 30 seconds left on the shot clock, 3:11 on the game clock, and Q holding it. Back for Chris Cox now. Cox back to Q again. Q from long range, and Cordero stops that one. The rebound, the Bulldogs control it, and the pass does connect with Cordero, but he needs help. It's going to be thrown away, and so that'll be turned over, and possession will come back to the Spartans.
And what about the job by the Spartans' offensive players on defense? They've caused a few turnovers for the Bulldogs in their own territory. Now with the fresh shot clock, Harry Kilkowski.
Yeah, in this game, UT has caused 6 turnovers. And now they are down to just 2.5 minutes left in the game as Kilkowski takes a shot that goes out of play. He has 2 assists on the night. We've called his name quite a bit. The freshman Harry Kilkowski. As Andrew Q puts it back in for the Spartans. Q sends a pass over. And now Cox in front, and nice save there by Alex Cordero as Wingate is going to have to hurry. This is Reese Orman. And now up ahead, it's intercepted. And Brian Wright as the Spartans come back the other way. Hunter Van Horn yelling to his teammates to slow it down, as all they've got to do is kill time now. The game clock is at 1 minute and 50 seconds. Brian Wright with it on the far side of the field. Kansai Gary. Gary being watched loosely by Sean Moran.
Oddly enough, both teams have 21 shots on goal, 15 saves for Karn, and of course, Ross Dickerson paving the way, winning 17 of 21 faceoffs for Tampa.
Still 40 on the shot clock, so Tampa in no hurry to get a shot off here. And for that matter, with a 6-goal lead, they may not even take a shot when this clock finally does expire in 26 seconds. As you see, Andrew Q with it just sends it behind the net to Colin White. For Q once again. Q with a few moves, still holds it. Now breaks in. Passes in front, they score! Couldn't pass that up. Kansai Gary was wide open, and he buries that one in behind Alex Cordero, and it's now 13-6 with 53 seconds left here in the game.
Just love the unselfishness from Andrew Q. Passing the ball, he was double-teamed, sharing it at a premium, wide open Kansai Gary, and he gets his name on the scorecard. And the Spartans, it's been a complete effort, 53 seconds away from getting this primetime matchup against Limestone in South Carolina. And that will be a game for the ages. Two top-tier teams.
And for Kansai Gary, he did have 13 goals in 18 games, but as you said, he's the latest name to appear on the score sheet now, as it's been an array of goal scorers for UT tonight. Not to overlook the 4-goal performance from Matt Vetter, but really a balanced attack for the Spartans, as there's just 36 seconds left here in the game, so the Spartans can kill off the game clock. They don't have to shoot. Although wide open now, a chance. And there's a pass as they send it over to the far side of the field, whip it in behind the Wingate net. And the Spartans, a flag is thrown now. And it's obviously against Wingate, but they may not even touch the ball for that penalty to be able to get called or enforced. As Dom Mazza sends it up for Evan Killen as they're watching the time tick down. And there it is, the final horn. The game is over. And the Spartans defeat the Wingate Bulldogs by a score of 13-6 to advance in the NCAA men's lacrosse playoffs. And they will take to the road now, will UT, to go and play Limestone on Saturday afternoon at 12 noon, following a game, Connor, that started off looking like it was going to be all Tampa, and then Wingate finally decided to show up, and then they decided we're not interested after all.
Absolutely. Typical 4-5 game. It got interesting. Wingate came on strong in the third period, but the Spartans' ability to handle adversity and come on strong and finish the job. What a performance. 13-6. And now the Spartans will get a important game against Lime.